training, I will be teaching people how to conduct peer mediation sessions. This training begins at a very basic level of defining some key terms and moves to, at the end, learners working through scenarios to simulate an actual mediation session. The audience is high school students who are not familiar with any mediation. Lesson 1 is titled Who is Involved? This lesson allows learners to interact with the flip card feature of RISE to learn about the individuals involved in a mediation, as well as some basic vocabulary that is used frequently in mediation sessions. Following the flip card activity, learners will participate in a formative assessment that will require them to correctly match the term with the definition. Lesson 2 is titled What is Mediation? And will teach learners what mediation is and what a mediator does. They will learn this through a 3-step progression that requires learners to read about the definition of mediation, who a mediator is, and what specifically a mediator does. Following the reading, learners will engage in a formative assessment that requires them to select a mediator's role. As seen here, they can click Start Quiz and select the terms they think is correct. Lesson 3 is titled What is Done During a Mediation. This lesson has 6 clickable points over an illustration of a mediation, the illustration being provided by RISE. These points all describe different parts of a mediator's job that are imperative to a successful mediation session. The learners can click on arrows after selecting one icon to navigate through the information that will teach learners about ridding biases, staying focused, listening to both parties, keeping an end goal in mind, and not using I statements. The formative assessment that follows this lesson requires learners to write out answers to explain what some things are and why certain aspects of mediation are so important. Lesson 4 focuses on starting and ending a mediation session. In this 2-tab lesson, learners will first read about an opening statement and its 6 components that it should include. They will then click on the other tab and read through what a peace agreement is and the 5 components that it should include that go into that. From this, they should be able to identify similarities and differences between starting and ending a session. The formative assessment for Lesson 4 is practicing writing. During this activity, learners will match statements belonging to either an opening statement or a peace agreement by dragging the quote-unquote card to the correct quote-unquote pile. If the learner puts the card into the wrong pile, the card will go back and the learner will have the opportunity to try again. Lesson 5 is the final lesson of this training. This lesson briefly tells learners what they should keep in mind during a mediation session and then allows them the opportunity to watch a video of part of a mediation session. The video will help learners see everything they have learned be put into use by other high school mediators. And the final summative assessment for this training is 5 scenarios in which the learners must briefly write what they would do if they were the mediator in each of the situations. We have Andy and Mike are upset with one another. They are upset because they are both interested in Alex. Social media of an embarrassing video. of one disputant was shared on social media by another disputant, and so on. Once learners have completed the scenarios, they will have completed the entire training.